Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. Today I'm going to be discussing something that I never thought that I would be making a video about, but it's something that I've realized within the last few weeks. Sometimes you have to change your homeschool even if it's working. Countless times on my channel, I have shared the advice that if your homeschool is working, don't change it. And I have firmly believed that. In all of our 11 years of homeschooling, I have always believed that to be absolutely the case. What I am realizing now, though, is that there are some times that your homeschool looks on the outside like it's working, but something happens that you really do need to change it. Now, does this mean that it's something that happens a lot? Probably not. I would still usually go with the advice of if your homeschool is working, don't change it. That is most likely going to be the scenario for a lot of families. However, don't ever think that there are never any exceptions to this rule. There definitely are, and I have found that out the hard way. So what I have talked about over and over and over again here is that we have been using the same homeschooling method for several years now, and it's been working great. My kids know exactly what it is that they have to do, and the days typically run smoothly. And for the most part, that is still the case. However, what I've realized just recently is that our homeschool is really only superficially working. It's really only working on the outside. And that is because my kids were used to the routine and used to the structure. But I think that honestly what has been happening is that it has lost its spark, not just for me, but for my kids as well. And that can be a problem if you are planning on educating your kids. You want to keep them engaged. You want to keep them interested in what you're doing. And I realized that not only are my kids not as interested as they once were, but I'm not as interested. And you know me, I love homeschooling. I think that it's the best lifestyle for any family to take. However, yeah, even I have been feeling that lately, is that I'm just not as excited about it as I once was. And you know what? February just ended. February is the month that is notorious for burnout. So could this be a part of burnout? It very well could be. But I'm also, I've been noticing that my kids really seem to need to be challenged more. Now, if you've been here before, you know that our family is a relaxed homeschooling family. I truly believe in a lot of unschooling philosophies in that children will learn about things if they're interested in them and if you give them the time to explore. And I still believe that to be the case. But what I think has been happening is that I have been not giving my kids the amount of structure that they probably could use at this point in time. And the reason for that is because, we had a really tough year. Of 2019 was a mess. We had one catastrophe happening after another, and honestly that really went straight through into January and into February, and it just seemed that one thing after another was happening and we never seemed to be able to catch our breath. So what was happening was that we were basically struggling to survive in our homeschool, which is really why I started keeping it to the bare minimum of what I was doing with my kids. I wanted to be able to give them things to think about. Of course, I wanted to educate them. I wanted to make sure that they were continuing to learn in their reading, in their writing, in their math, those really basic foundational skills. But I think that a lot of times we were more in survival mode than anything. So, that's when you've got to realize that sometimes it's okay to move on. Sometimes even if you think that from the outside, your homeschool feels like or seems like it's working, if you have a feeling that it's not, really, I don't say jump into it and change things right away. Reflect on it, pray about it, really think about the things that you want to change, the things that you want to work on, and the things that you really want to keep the same. Now, for us, for example, my kids have been asking for a while now to start German again. We did German a couple of years ago, and so recently my kids have been asking me to do German again. And the only reason that I didn't start German again with them was just because I didn't know how we were going to fit it in with all of the chaos that was happening, not in our homeschool, but every other area of our life. So that kept me from starting German with my kids. There were just a few other areas, like my kids wanted to start working on cursive again. That is something else that we had cut out for a while, simply because I was really trying to keep things down to the basics so that we were able to survive through this really difficult period. So as things have, Lord willing, things have seemed to slow down a little bit here. Things are not as chaotic as they once were. I'm realizing that my kids need to be challenged more. I need to be challenged more, and we really do need to breathe some new life into our homeschool. We're going to change things around a little bit. We're going to add in some things that my kids have been wanting for a while, but I just haven't been able to do simply because of everything that's been going on. So in all of this, I just wanted to encourage all of you that if you're feeling like that, if you're feeling like you don't want to mess things up, if you think your homeschool is working, but you have that slight inkling that something is a little off and you want to change it, try it. See how it works. If it does not work out for you, at least you know that you have that foundation of something that does work and you can go back to it after a while, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to try this out, and I'm going to see how it works for my kids. And another thing that I found that was happening in our homeschool is because we have kept things at such a bare minimum, that my kids were getting a little spoiled, where it would get to the point where if our homeschool day would take longer than 2 hours, it was just complaining. And I found that my kids, they just weren't really as motivated anymore because they were so used to everything being like quick and over with that they just, anytime that anything crept over their time limit, they really started fighting it tooth and nail. So, this is something that I actually, if you would have asked me this a month ago, I would have never thought that I'd be changing anything. But I think the time has come. And as a seasoned homeschool mom, I'm confident that, if it doesn't work out, it'll still be fine. That's the great thing about homeschooling, is the flexibility. So, again, I just want to encourage you that if you feel like you need to change things and you're a little worried about it because things really do seem like they are working, sometimes even when homeschooling does seem to be working, you still need to change it. Anyway, that's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one over on Instagram because YouTube disabled my comments. And if you like my work and would like to check out my Patreon page, I will leave a link in the description box for that as well. And today I just want to give a shout out to one of my newest patrons, Elena. Elena, thank you so much for becoming a patron. I am honored that you have given me your support and that you like what I do. And I hope that I can continue to encourage you, and I hope that I can continue to encourage all of you, and I hope you all have a great day.